Part 28, 83%. On a Kindle, it tells you the percentage. Augie's just been at Mr. Tushman's office, and Mr. Tushman's told him that Julian's not going to be at school next year. So I think Augie's quite pleased with that. But I'm really curious why Julian's not going to be at school that year. Is it that his parents genuinely think that it's the wrong school for him because Augie's there? Or is there something bigger going on that would be a twist in the story? The last precept. This was written on Mr. Brown's chalkboard when we walked into English class for the last time. Mr. Brown's June precept. Just follow the day and reach for the sun. Have a great summer vacation, Class 5B. It's been a great year and you've been a wonderful group of students. If you remember, please send me your postcard this summer with your personal precept. It can be something you made up for yourself or something you've read somewhere that means something to you. If so, don't forget an attribution, please. Forget the attribution, please. I really look forward to getting them. Tom Brown, and he's put his address, and they are from New York. So that tells me clearly it's the end of the school year. The drop-off. The graduation ceremony was held in Beecher Prep Upper School Auditorium. It was only about a 15-minute walk from our house to the other campus building, but Dad drove me because I was all dressed up and I had shiny black shoes on that weren't broken in at all. It means that they were still really hard, and I didn't want my feet to hurt. Students were supposed to arrive at the auditorium an hour before the ceremony started, but we got there even earlier, so we sat in the car and we waited. Dad turned on the CD player, the music, and our favorite song came on. We both smiled and started bobbing our heads to the music. Dad sang along with it. "Hey, is my tie on straight?" I said. He looked and straightened it a tiny bit, but he kept on singing. "Does my hair look okay?" "Via put some gel in it this morning," I said, pulling it down. Doesn't it look a bit puffy?" "No, it's very cool, Augie. I don't think you've ever had it this short before, have you? What's the significance, turn and tell your friends, of Augie having short hair?" I know that change was that he covered his face with long hair at the beginning. Didn't want people seeing him. Like short hair. Now he doesn't mind people seeing him. Yeah, I got it cut yesterday, Dad. I think it makes me look more grown up, don't you?" "Definitely," he said, and he's still singing and bobbing away. "Look at you, Augie, look at you, looking so grown up," he said, smiling from ear to ear. "You look really spiffy. I can't believe you're graduating from 5th grade. "I know, it's pretty awesome, right?" I nodded. "Feels like yesterday that you just started school. Remember, I still had that Star Wars braid hanging out the back of my head." "Oh yeah, that's right." "Oh, you hated that braid, didn't you, Dad?" "Yep. Well, hated was a strong word, but I definitely didn't love it." "You hated it. Come on, admit it, Dad." "No, I didn't hate it," he said, smiling. "But I will admit to hating that astronaut helmet you used to wear. Do you remember that?" "Yeah, the one Miranda gave me. Of course I do. I remember I used to wear it all the time." "Oh, I really hated that. I was so annoyed when it got lost." "Oh," he said. "It didn't actually get lost. I threw it out." That's what Dad said. "Wait, what?" I said. I honestly didn't think I heard him right. "The day is beautiful and so are you," he said, singing along to distract me. "Dad," I said, and I turned the volume down. "What? You threw it out? The astronaut helmet that I used to wear over my head that Miranda gave me?" I finally looked at my face and saw how mad I was. I couldn't believe he was being so matter-of-fact about the whole thing. I mean, to me, this was a major revelation. He was acting like it was no big deal. "Augie, I couldn't stand seeing that thing covering your face anymore," he said clumsily. When you say something clumsily, you don't think about it. You can be clumsy and fall over, but you can be clumsy with your words. a little bit thoughtless, it might offend somebody. Dad, I loved that helmet. It meant a lot to me. I was really annoyed beyond belief, so heartbroken when it got lost. Don't you remember? Of course I do, Augie, he said softly. Oh, Augie, don't be mad. I'm really sorry. I just couldn't stand seeing you wear that thing on your head anymore. I didn't think it was good for you. He was trying to look at me in the eye, but really he couldn't look at me because he felt so bad. Come on, Augie, please, try and understand why I did it. He put his hand under my chin and tilted my head towards him. You were wearing that helmet all the time, and the real truth is, I missed seeing your face, Augie. I know you don't always love it, but you have to understand I love it a lot. I love this face of yours, Augie, completely, passionately. I love it. And it kind of broke my heart that you were always covering it up. He was still squinting at me, and I really did want to understand. Does Mum know? I said. He opened his eyes wide. No way, are you kidding? She would have killed me. She tore that place apart looking for that helmet. I mean, she spent like a week looking for it in every closet, in the laundry room, and everywhere. I know, that's why she'd kill me, said Dad. Then he looked at me, and something out of his expression made me start laughing, which made him open his mouth wide, like he'd just realized something. Wait a minute, Augie, he said, pointing his finger. You have to promise never to tell Mum. Ugh. I smiled and rubbed my palms together, like I was about to get very greedy. Ha, let's see, I said, stroking my chin. I'll be wanting a new Xbox for Christmas when it comes out next month, and I'll definitely be wanting my own car in about 6 years. If I don't tell the secret, a nice Porsche would be nice. He started laughing, and I loved it when I'm the one who makes Dad laugh, since he's usually the funny man. Usually he gets everyone else laughing. Oh boy, he said, shaking his head. You really have grown up. The part of the song we loved to sing the most started to play, and I turned up the volume and we both started singing. I'm the ugliest guy on the Lower East Side. I don't know the song, so I don't know how to sing it. I'm the ugliest guy on the Lower East Side, said the song lyrics. But I've got wheels, and if you want to go for a ride, ride. We sang this last part at the top of our lungs. Do you sing with your family? It's so much fun. Trying to hold that one last note as long as the guy who sang the song, and it always made us crack up and laugh. We noticed Jack had arrived and was walking over to our car. I started to get out to see Jack, because remember they're waiting for the graduation ceremony. Hold on, said Dad. I just want to make sure 100% that you've forgiven me. Yep, I've forgiven you, Dad. Okay, thank you. Turn and check your neighbor knows what Dad did that needed forgiveness. I forgive you, but don't ever throw anything else out of mine without asking, okay? Okay. I opened the car door and I got out as Jack reached the car. Hey, Jack. Hey, Augie. Hey, Mr. Pullman. Nice to see you. How you doing, Jack, said Dad. See you later, Dad, I said, closing the door. Good luck, guys, Dad called out, rolling down the window. See you on the other side of 5th grade, because they're graduating, so then they're going to be on the other side of 5th grade. We waved as he turned on the ignition and started to pull away, but then I ran over and he stopped the car. I put my head in the window so Jack wouldn't hear what I was saying. Can you guys not kiss me in front of everyone at graduation? It's kind of embarrassing. I'll try my best. Tell Mum too. I don't think she'll be able to resist, Augie, but I'll pass your message along. Bye, Dad. Bye, son. Take your seats, everyone. Jack and I walked right behind a couple of 6th graders into the building and then followed them to the auditorium. Mr. G was at the entrance handing out the programs and telling us kids where to go. 5th graders, go down the aisle and turn left. 6th graders, go to the right. Everyone, come in, good morning, go to your staging areas. 5th graders, left. 6th graders, right. The auditorium was really huge inside. Big sparkly chandeliers and red velvet walls Whoa, rows and rows and rows of cushioned seats leading up to the giant stage. We walked down the wide aisle and followed the signs to the 5th grade staging area, which was a big room to the left of the stage. Inside were 4 rows of folding chairs facing the front of the room, which is where Miss Rubin was standing, waving us in as soon as we walked in the room. "Okay, kids, take your seats, she was saying, pointing to the rows of chairs. "Don't forget to sit alphabetically. Come on, everyone, let's go." Me and Jack were sword fighting with our rolled up programs. Hey, guys. Then Summer walked over to us. She was wearing a pink dress and I think a little bit of makeup. "Wow, Summer, you look awesome." I told her because she really did look awesome. Really? Because she wasn't in her school uniform or anything, right? It's quite cool to see you boys and girls out of your school uniform. "Really? Thanks. You do too, Augie." "Yeah, you look okay," Summer said Jack, kind of matter-of-factly. For the first time I realized that Jack had a crush on Summer. This is so exciting, isn't it, Summer? "Yeah, kind of," I answered, nodding. "Oh, man, look at the program," said Jack, scratching his forehead. "We're going to be here all friggin' day. Look at all the things that are happening. People are talking, there's choirs, there's an assembly, there's a concert from the orchestra, everything. Whoa, and then there's an awards presentation as well." An awards presentation? You mean people get awards for things they've done really well? Why do you think that?" I asked. "Because Mr. Jansen's speeches go on forever. He's even worse than Tushman. My mum said she actually fell asleep last year when he spoke." "What's the awards presentation?" "Well, that's where they give medals to the biggest brainiacs," said Jack, which would mean Charlotte, Shamina will win everything in the 5th grade, like they won everything in the 4th grade and the 3rd grade. "Not in the 2nd grade?" "They didn't give awards in the 2nd grade." "Maybe you'll win this year," I joked. "Well, not unless they give awards for the most C's," he said. "Everyone, take your seats," said Mr. Rubin. "We have got a lot to get through, so take your seats. Don't forget you're sitting in alphabetical order. A through G in the first row, H through N on the next row, etc., etc." "We should go sit down," said Summer. "You guys are definitely coming over to my house after this, right?" "Definitely." "When did Summer get so cool?" Jack muttered in my ear. "Shh," I said, laughing as we headed towards the 3rd row. "Seriously, when did that happen?" "Whoa, Mr. Will," Miss Rubin shouted. "Last time I checked, W came after R and Z. W became between R and Z." Jack looked at her blankly. "Dude, you're in the wrong row." "Am I?" And the face he made as he got up to leave was a mixture of looking completely confused and looking like he's just played a joke on somebody. Totally cracked me up. Oh, he was sitting in the wrong row. About an hour later, we were all seated in the giant auditorium waiting for Mr. Tushman to give the middle school speech. It was really, really big, bigger than Via's stall. And I looked around and there were about 1 million people in the audience. This could be a problem for Augie. There's 1 million people in the audience all looking at him, but definitely a lot. "Thank you, Headmaster Jansen." He said, "Welcome, my fellow teachers and members of the faculty and parents and grandparents and all the guests, and especially to my 5th and 6th grade students. Welcome to the Beecher Prep Middle School graduation ceremony." Everyone applauded. Clapped. Everyone applauded. "Every year," continued Mr. Tushman, reading from his notes with his reading glasses, "I'm charged with writing 2 addresses, one for the 5th grade and one for the 6th grade and one for the 7th and 8th grade ceremony." So 5th and 6th, 7th and 8th. That'll take place tomorrow. And every year I say, let me cut down my work and write one that I can use for both. Seems like it shouldn't be such a hard thing to do. And yet each year I still end up with 2 different speeches, no matter what my intentions are. And I finally figured it out this year. It's not as you might assume, simply because tomorrow I'll be talking to an older crowd of middle school experience. With the middle school, I'm getting tongue-tied, with lots of middle school experience, whereas you guys are new in the middle school. No, I think it has more to do with the particular age you are right now, the moment in your lives. Even after 20 years of me being around students your age, still I feel proud because you're on the cusp of being kids and then between childhood and teenager. And that's called a transition or a change. We're all gathered here today, all of your friends and family, teachers, to celebrate your achievements in the past year as middle schoolers, but also wishing you well off into the future. When you reflect on this past year, I want you all to look at where you are now and where you've been. You've all gotten a little taller, a little stronger, a little smarter, I hope. Here's some people in the audience chuckled. But the best way to measure how much you've grown isn't by inches or centimeters or the number of laps you can run around the track or how well you've done in maths, though these things are important to be sure. It's what you've done with your time, how you've chosen to spend your days, and whom you've connected with and had an impact on this year. That, to me, is the greatest measure of success. The people you've had an impact on. There's a wonderful line in a book by J.M. Barrie, and no, it's not Peter Pan. I'm not going to ask you to clap if you believe in fairies. Everyone laughed again. But it's another book called The Little White Bird. Ready? Here it is. He started flipping through the book. Shall we make a new rule of life? Always to try to be a little kinder than is necessary. Shall we make a new rule of life? Always to try to be a little kinder than necessary. Push yourself, not just being kind, but finding opportunities to be kind. Here he looked at his audience. Kinder than necessary? What a marvelous line. Kinder than necessary, because it's not enough to be kind. One should be kinder than needed. Why I love that line. That concept is that it reminds me that we carry with us as human beings not just the capacity to be kind, which many animals don't have, but the choice to be kind. What does that mean? How is it measured? You can't measure it with a ruler. It's like I was saying just before. It's not like measuring how much you've grown. It's not really something you can measure. How do you know we've been kind? What is being kind anyway? He put on his reading glasses again and started to flip through another small book. There's another passage in a different book I'll share with you. It's called Under the Eye of the Clock. The main character is a young man who's facing some extraordinary challenges. There's this one part when someone helps him. A kid in his class. On the surface, it seems like a small gesture to help someone. But to this young man, whose name is Joseph, it's, well, if you'll permit me, he cleared his throat and read from the book. I think he's getting to the point about how well they've treated Augie. He cleared his throat and read from the book. It was at moments such as these that Joseph recognized the face of God in human form. It glimmered in their kindness to him. It glowed in their keenness. It hinted in their caring. Indeed, it caressed in their gaze. So the kindness glimmered and it glowed and it showed caring, and you saw it in their eyes. He paused and he took off his reading glasses. It glimmered in their kindness to him. Such a simple thing, kindness. Such a simple thing. A nice word of encouragement given when needed. An act of friendship, just carrying somebody's bag, holding a door open. How was your weekend? Very tiny, simple things. Just a smile at somebody. Just a smile at a stranger. Personally, I saw an old man trying to get on the bus the other day. I was a bit annoyed because there was a man standing in front of him just on his phone. He didn't even notice. So just noticing things, just being aware of other people. Shall I stand up on the bus and give somebody a seat who might need it? Shall I stand up on the train? Shall I step back as the train doors open and let everyone else out first? Well, this old man had a walking stick, and between the gutter, the pavement, and the bus is a little gap of about that much. I wasn't getting on that bus, but I just walked around and just held my hand so that I could help him so he wouldn't fall, and if he stumbled, at least I could help him. And then the bus driver came out from where he was sitting and helped him get up into the seat. I'm sure that elderly man was grateful, but hopefully he also felt that people care about him. I didn't want a thank you. I didn't do it for that. I wanted that man, just in case he hadn't seen anyone for that day, or he had had a bad day and something had been difficult for him. He had a walking stick and everything. It must be harder. He must have been tired, and maybe he doesn't have any family anymore. So he thinks, oh, that stranger who helped me just made me feel good that day. Okay, looking for kindness. And I don't do it very well all the time, but that's just one little example of when I did it. Oh, I helped a man as well in my condo, and he had lots of groceries, and he was down at the lift. And he was trying to get between the door and the lift. You know, there's two different. So I just helped him by holding the door open and then carrying some of his groceries up the lift with him and dropped them at his house with him. Really simple. I could have not noticed and just ignored it. Such nice words of encouragement. He closed the book and put it down and leaned forward. Children, what I want to impart on you today is an understanding of the value of the simple thing called kindness. And that's all I want to leave with you today. I know I'm kind of infamous for verbosity. Here everyone laughed. I guess he knew he was known for his long speeches. But what I want for my students to take away from middle school experience is the sure knowledge that in the future, you make for yourselves everything is possible. If every single person in this room made it a rule that wherever you are, you know this, whenever you can, you will try to act a little kinder than is necessary, the world really would be a better place. And if you do this, if you act just a little kinder than is necessary, someone else, somewhere, someday might recognize you and every single one of you, the face of God. Doesn't have to be my God, anyone's God, just that goodness, pure goodness. He paused and he shrugged. Or whatever politically correct spiritual representation of universal goodness you happen to believe in, he added quickly, smiling, which got a lot of laughs and a lot of applause, especially from the back of the auditorium where the parents were sitting. Because not every parent has the same God and not every parent believes in God. But that is his message at his commencement or his speech for graduation. The next chapter is going to be good. Awards. I'm looking forward to it.